from America's Heartland. This is GJRB, Clinton, Iowa.
Hey, we're back. Way out there on GJRB, live this half hour. Yeah, we're here. We're live. It's happening as we know it. Welcome back to Way Out There here on GJRB Online and Spreaker. And I'll be making that other part 2 public in just a few moments. And getting you a chance to listen to that. But if you've been listening to me live via the Spreaker public site and you're listening to me despite the lockup on that half hour, then you know what we're going to do this time. Yep, we're going to do it. You're going to hear it. Yeah. That's right. We're going to start cranking up the phone line this time round here on Way Out There.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Bit of It Show.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to do it right now. First off, if you're interested in getting on live here and talking to me on the radio, I'll be doing that right now. We're going to also talk about that John W. Whitehead story. I got that coming up. We're going to set that up. Also, going to be talking about other things in this segment. So check that out. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got a lot of great stuff coming up there. So hang in there. Way out there here on GJRB. And I'm Gary J. Russin, and I hope you're enjoying the program. And you can be part of it live right now. Now my chat room's open despite if you don't want to call my show, if you don't want to do that, if you don't want to be on the radio, so to speak, you can just do like you do always with the chat rooms. Okay, they're available too. And you see that little balloon on the widget? Click that. You can just type me a message and I'll answer you, like I always do when I don't take phone calls. And or you can jump in on this. So in other words, which I don't think I'll ever have it to a point where you have trouble getting in. But you might want to just send me a message if you can't get through otherwise. So you might want to do that. And the number here, if you want to call, area code 563, that's Iowa, 241-6114. 6 2 1s and a 4. 611-4. 6114 to get in our program. This is Way Out There. If you want to talk about stuff, or if you want to talk about that fracking I was talking about last half hour. If you're in a state where they do that, let me know. I mean, is your water doing that too? I mean, if you could put a match to your water spigot, like they showed in that video, and I'll post it here in a while. To go up in flames like that. Spooky looking picture. Like I said, I've seen that only on an emergency episode. It was weird if your water sets ablaze if you put a match to it. Really. And interesting anyhow. So we're going to talk about that today here on Way Out There, here on GJRB. So join for that. But right now, until I get this call, back on April 21st, which I think was, last week? John W. Whitehead was on Coast to Coast with George Norrie. Interesting show. And he was talking about the police state. He had a book called Battlefield Earth, or Battlefield. See, I did it again, didn't I? Called it Battlefield Earth. Why did I do that? Battlefield America, which he writes about characteristics of a police state. Fascinating story, actually. And he first talks about the characteristics of a police state. And it's very chilling. He says the characteristics of the police state is what you really talk about first. About how surveillance and how they can get away with this stuff.
Well, you have to look at the characteristics of a police state. In fact, in my new book, Battlefield America, the War on American People, I look at former regimes. And if you look at former regimes such as Nazi Germany, the Soviet Union, and some of the countries operating now, we're falling right down the track. You have bureaucracy, secrecy, perpetual wars, and empire. Essentially a nation of suspects is what you have when you have the government watching everything you're doing, militarization, surveillance, widespread police presence, which we have now, and the citizenry basically has very little recourse against any kind of actions by police. And when I use the word police, by the way, I'm not talking just about local police. I'm talking about Department of Homeland Security agents, FBI agents, Department of Education agents, which all have SWAT teams, and we can talk a little bit about this in a minute, all the hollow point bullets they're carrying now, which explode on contact.
Bullets that'll actually explode on contact. You imagine that? He says Dwight D. Eisenhower warned about this. He warned about this police state. And stating that that the current U.S. government is not what the Founding Fathers had in mind. It's business, it's corporate, it's concerns like that. Department of Homeland Security. And how it has become the fourth branch of the U.S. government.
He said it will destroy freedoms and it will bankrupt this country. That's the simplified version. What he meant by that was a co-joining of large moneyed interests with the government, and those co-joining interests running the government. In other words, the government stops being the government.
Yeah, government stops being the government. Imagine that. Anyway, it goes on to say, there's some more commentary on his page. It's from the Rutherford Institute. And he states that the security, the NSA, they could stop you. And this is what he's saying now. And I mean, it goes on. I mean, they could stop you. And he talked about this fourth branch of government. It's a branch where government is sending out a signal that could come after you. They could come after their adversaries. Come after their adversaries.
Their adversaries. In other words, what they're doing, they're sending us a signal. We now run things. If you step out of line, we're going to know everything you do. We can arrest you in the middle of the night. And I can talk about some of the cases we handled at the residence.
Okay, yeah, that's important. Sure thing.
You step out of line, we're going to come and get you. There's nothing you can do. It's going to be private. In fact, Robert Ley, one of Hitler's key advisors, says there's no such thing as a private person in Nazi Germany anymore except a dead person. And so I would say right now you have no privacy. Anything that we're seeing happen in former regimes is not exemplified mainly because of all the technology which is at the behest of government agents who work with the large corporate interests like Google, and Amazon. How many people know that Amazon, not too long ago, built a $20 million intelligence cloud, paid for by our money as taxpayers, by the way, for all 17 intelligence agencies to share their information, collate it, and watch it?
Yeah, how about that? Yeah. And that's scary, folks. And it's like in the light of what's going on, in the light of actually what's going on in down south. The sudden closings of Walmarts. And the fact that not only did they close, but it sounds like they close permanently because they told their employees, never, we're not hiring you back. Not hiring you back. You imagine that. And to be down south right now, I don't think I want to. Seriously. Not anymore now. As much as I'd like to go back to Florida and I'd like to visit, I would. But right now, I don't know. Anybody listening out there in the Tampa, St. Petersburg area, you might be listening to this. We used to come down to your area for family vacations. I gotta tell you, I think about that area. I love that area. Wanted to live in that area when I was younger. Tried to apply for a radio job down there. And right now, I'm glad I didn't. Seriously. I think I'd be scared out of my wits down there right now. Brandon, Florida is one of the Walmarts that closed. One of the ones that closed. And they're saying now that there are other ones in other states. And then later on, I'm going to be playing a report from In Time Headlines on this story from their site. As a matter of fact, Scaparo, what's his name? Anyway, the director of that has a full report telling a story about how they closed down those Walmarts down there. J-Ham 15. And later on, I'll play you a piece from our final part of the last 7 days I recorded last Wednesday. And we talk a little bit about it. And the military exercise that's going on down there. So I'm going to be talking about that one throughout the afternoon here on Way Out There. Saturday show here on GJRB. Come on board if you're just joining me here. Welcome to Way Out There here on GJRB. Check every so often. What I do is I go on my main page while I'm live, and I see my live widget. And I'm going to do right now while I'm here is I'm going to embed into my, I do that right now. I'm going to embed into my listener page, my Spreaker, GJRB, Gary Russin program fan page on Facebook. Go there right now, and I'm going to post that. Okay, go to my Facebook page here, and to my GJRB online listener page. Post it. Okay. Okay, why aren't you posting? Should be, okay, here we go. Alright, it's posted. Now, it'll give you when you have it. Now, if you're a listener of this show on my Facebook listener page, you'll see